the first game that I wanted to touch on was the Bills and the Seahawks. 44-34, the Bills get the victory. Josh Allen is back. He had a great game. I did mention on the last episode that which Josh Allen were we gonna get? Were we gonna get the Josh Allen that was MVP candidate at the beginning of the season, or were we gonna get the Josh Allen from the previous 3 weeks that struggled, that played all right against the Patriots, struggled against the Titans, struggled against Kansas City, and we got the MVP Josh Allen this week. 31 for 38, 415 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 carries for 14 yards and a touchdown. Played lights out, played like an MVP candidate. Put that offense on his back. Was just he was masterful this weekend. We did find out after the game that unfortunately his grandma had died. I think the day before or Friday, she had passed away, and the coach let him know that if he didn't want to play, that it was fine, that he could take the week off. But Josh Allen, being the competitor that he is, being the football fanatic that he is, he loves football. He was like, nah, I want to play. I'm gonna honor my grandma by playing, and boy, did he do it. He had a great game. I know he had a heavy heart. R.I.P. his grandma. I know he's probably going through a lot. I can't even imagine how that must feel, and to step onto a football field and have a performance like he did. Just tip my hat to him. Great game. Russell Wilson struggled. He had 4 turnovers. His stat line was 28 for 41, 390 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He lost 2 fumbles too. I don't know. It feels like every time that Russell Wilson has multiple turnovers, that defense can make up the difference. It just seems like Russell Wilson always has to have a perfect game, or else the Seahawks don't have a chance. But yeah, this game got away from the Seattle Seahawks pretty quick. Josh Allen was able to finish 3 of the first 4 Bills drives with a touchdown. So it just the Seahawks had to abandon the run pretty early. They were playing from behind. What's his name? Carson was out, so it was already going to be tough to run. And then once they got behind, it just became a uphill battle. Like I said, the Bills started up 17-0 real quick. It put the Seattle Seahawks on a hole. They made like a push. They did. Russell Wilson, obviously, he's a great quarterback. He's not going to go down without a fight. But they were able to sack Russell Wilson 5 times. Like I said, they forced 2 picks, 2 fumbles. They made him uncomfortable. He never really felt comfortable in the pocket. They made him run outside the pocket, extend plays. And it works. It works almost all of the weeks, but there's going to be a 1 week or one or a couple of weeks where it's just not going to work, and Russell Wilson's not going to be able to just put the team on his back. I did predict that the Seahawks were going to put 30 points up on the Bills just because they were the number 1 scoring offense going into the game. But I thought the defense was going to do a little better job. I think my prediction was like 33-24 or something along those lines. Or 35, I think. So the Seahawks put up 34, but that defense had no hope. They let the Bills score 44 on them. That's the most points in the 11 years that Pete Carroll has been in Seattle. That's the most points Pete Carroll team has given up, which is pretty surprising. Josh Allen just carved them up. It wasn't always Stephon Diggs. He was finding everybody. He was spreading the ball. He was letting everybody eat. Pete Carroll did say after the game that it caught him by surprise that the Bills just abandoned the run. He thought they were going to run the ball a little bit, and the game plan, he had drawn up a game plan that basically had some plays to stop the Bills running game, and the Bills just kind of forgot about the run, or they knew. I mean, I don't know why Pete Carroll was surprised. They came in with a pretty decent run game, and they were like the worst pass defense in the NFL. So I could see why the Bills would just be like, all right, we know what their weakness is. Let's not try to be cute or do something crazy. Like, we know what they're good at. We know what they're really terrible at. Let's just go after what they're terrible at. So that's what they did. They just exposed them through the air. And Pete Carroll said he was surprised. Pete Carroll said he wasn't ready for that. So I think Pete Carroll needs to step it up a little bit. I know on the media they were saying if any other coach that didn't have the job security that Pete Carroll has would have said that would have been like bigger headlines and people would have been just calling for the coach's job or something. But it's Pete Carroll. He has job security. He's done a great job since he's been in Seattle for these 11 years. So he gets a little slack taken away from him. But that defense from Seattle is starting to worry me. I don't know. It's a daunting task to ask Russell Wilson to be perfect every game, to not have any turnovers, to make up for his kind of shaky line that he has at times, to just improvise and get the ball out to his wide receivers and to just make comebacks every week and just sneak out victories. I don't know. I'm losing a little bit of faith on the Seahawks. I have them as my Super Bowl pick. I had them losing to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So the NFC is definitely tough. It's ramping up. The Saints are coming in hot. The Buccaneers, if they could bounce back, they'll be there. The Packers are coming hot. Revenge season for Aaron Rodgers is what I'm hearing. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get out of the NFC. And with that defense, something needs to happen. I know Jamal Adams during the game, I saw him screaming at Pete Carroll for a little bit. So I don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully Jamal Adams could help that defense and they could shore that defense up. Particularly the passing game, that they're struggling a lot. They can't stop anybody. Like I said, Josh Allen was struggling, and I said if he's gonna turn his season around, if he's gonna revert back to the MVP form Josh Allen that we saw in the first 3 or 4 weeks, that this was gonna be the week to do it. And sure enough, he became the MVP candidate, Josh Allen again. So as far as the Bills go, they have the Cardinals and the Chargers next, and then the Niners. Cardinals are going to be a tough game for them, but they should be favorites. Chargers, surprisingly, they'll probably be a tough game too. The Chargers are not a bad team. The Chargers just don't know how to win. Like the Chargers they could probably compete against anybody. They compete against the Chiefs. They compete against the Bucs. They have like 17 plus point leads on a lot of these teams, a lot of these good teams. They just don't know how to close, and that's something that's plagued the Chargers for many years. So the Bills better not sleep on that game. They better be ready because the Chargers could potentially beat them. And then they play the Niners, and the Niners are pretty beat up, so they should beat that team. But they gotta keep trying. They definitely gotta. They can't take any games lightly. I know the Patriots are behind in the standings, but the Dolphins are right there behind them. The Dolphins are 5-3, basically a game and a half behind them. So they gotta keep at it. They can't lose because Tua's coming. Tua is definitely coming. The Dolphins and Brian Flores are right there, and I think they're on a 4-game win streak. So for the Bills, this is probably the best start to a season I think I read since like the late 90s or something like that. So take it all in, enjoy it. Josh Allen looks like he's picked it back up. He's gonna turn the season around, but don't get too comfortable because the Dolphins are right there, and they look good too.